Nerdmaids and Nerdmaids-to-be. My name is Faith, and today I'm going to be reviewing my Aquariuz mermaid tail. So, I'm back doing reviews! Yay! First, get it out of the way, yes! New filming location! This is my husband and I's bedroom. I'm married now. Finally into a place of our own. It's really exciting. Thank you for all your support over this period of time where I've been very busy and very preoccupied. I appreciate it so much. Who cares about the housekeeping? You guys are here for a tail review. This I got in like late 2020. This is from Aquariuz Mermaid Tails. She is a fantastic artist who has been making tails for quite some time and has a really super unique style, and sent me a tail to review and make some content of, and I wanted to tell you guys all about it, so that's what this video is about. As always, I'll be doing this review on cosmetics, comfort, durability, customer service, and performance, so here we go. So first off, cosmetics, the aesthetics of this tail. Gonna give it an 8 out of 10. So when Aquariuz reached out and asked if I wanted to have a tail to review, I was like, okay, design-wise, design choice, all of the tails are pretty much one of the kind or custom. Like, there are a few kind of stock styles, but all of them are completely made for each mermaid, which is really unique. And I was like, well, how about something rainbowy? Because Rainburst, my Magic Tail Pro tail at the very end of the tail wall, is dying. She has seen some better days. She is officially retired. I'm not swimming in her anymore because she's just broken and so very stretched out, and I love rainbows. I think they're very pretty. I've always liked them, and so I thought, how about a new rainbow tail for this era? So that was pretty much the only information I gave aside from my measurements, and then I got this. We got the rainbow design on this sublimated printed fabric, so we've got some big scales that have little bubbles on them, and then it's a rainbow pattern on the scales, which is really neat. Rainbow gradient. Fun way to incorporate rainbow into a scale. And then on the dorsal fin, it is a rainbow. This is the only fin on this tail. A bunch of individual strips of different fabrics, and they are of course in rainbow order. And then the fluke. This big massive chunky fluke, it is a bunch of individual colors and different types of fabric, all making this beautiful rainbow, almost like a circus tent. It's really fun and very flashy. It's been nicknamed the pride flag tail, the parachute tail, the circus tent tail. It is definitely one of a kind. Oh yeah, it's also been named the coat of many colors tail, like Joseph the Amazing Technicolor Dream Coat. Go Joseph, you know what they say! It's very striking, and all the different types of fabric on the fluke look very dynamic in the water, which is really neat. It really catches the eye because some of them catch the light in a different way. And of course, this big, long fluke means it's very flowy in the water. The dorsal also has this really fun texture flow to it in the water. I don't know if it's exactly what I'd prefer a dorsal to look like. I prefer them more to be kind of short and pointed, but in terms of doing a dorsal fin, it is a really unique way to have just a little bit of breakup in the pattern on your tail. And another really neat thing is that the scales line up really well, and the scales have this blended effect. So this right here is the seam, so it goes a little bit more into purple right at this area of the print, which is really nice. It kind of helps hide the side seam of the tail, which I really appreciate. Now, one thing I get a little bit upset about, not that it's really that big of a deal, but the rainbows on this print, when I first got it, I was like, okay, this is clearly a rainbow, but something is off, and I don't know what. And what is off is that the red color is on the inside, the shorter bit of the rainbow, when it should be on the outside. So theoretically, the rainbow should have, like, at the scale tip, the red should be at the bottom, and then it, like, flows in. And I do find that sometimes the kind of scale illusion gets a little lost under the water, or from far away. You can't quite tell what it's supposed to be. It's a very unique print. I wouldn't say it's like my favorite in terms of like giving off a realistic mermaid scale look. This is definitely much more of a cartoony tail, not as realistic as some of her other works, but it's still so much fun. It's just so fun. That's what I love about it. Very psychedelic. I don't know if I love the bubbles on it, but I'm willing to live with it. And for the comfort, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. It's got this really comfortable waistband, nice and wide. The tail fits me perfectly. Now, the fabric is not as soft as some other mermaid tails that I have, but I don't find it scratchy or uncomfortable. Just something to note, it's not as kind of soft and buttery as like a Finfolk or a Mertailer. And then I guess something that also bothers me a bit is because there is a lot of drag with this fluke, it is a little a tad bit more uncomfortable to swim in, just that I have to work a little bit harder to swim. I say the drag is a comfort issue because it's what I call the pain in the butt factor for mermaid tails, is that because there's a lot of drag in the fluke, it brings the pain in the butt factor up a little bit when I'm wanting to bring this tail to the pool. Alright, and for durability, a good old 10 out of 10 for durability. I kid you guys not, this is amazing. You guys, when I say this is one of the most durable tails I had, I am not kidding. Like, when I test out my tails, I'm not exactly nice to them. I kind of beat them up just to kind of put them through the ringer so that you guys get an accurate representation of what a mermaid tail looks like with moderate to heavy use. And this one, I have dragged it over rocks, I've dragged it on rough bottom pools, I've done a lot to this tail, and it is steadfast. There are no popped seams whatsoever, and all of these are individually sewn. There has been no holes, nothing like that. It's sewn very well together. There is barely any pilling on this tail, which I appreciate so much. It is a very durable fabric. It is called Aqualife, I think. This fabric does not pill as noticeably. It doesn't snag as much. It's honestly like I'm actively trying to find pilled or snagged or rubbed fabric. The only place I can really find is like right on kind of the side seam of my butt, which is clearly I was lying and posing for a photo here. And the print has not faded at all in the chlorine either, which is awesome. And for customer service, I'll give it a 9 out of 10. Honestly, what I love about Trinity is she just took a concept and ran with it, and you can see that's so evident in all of her other works, is that people give her concepts and she runs with it. I would have maybe appreciated a little bit more back and forth, but because I'm not a paying customer, just got this for a review, I'm not super pressed about that. I just love when people do their works and do it well. Sometimes they'll do sublimation printing, and sometimes they'll paint tails based on what the design that the mermaid wants. So that's really neat because not every version of tail making is a one-size-fits-all. So it's neat having a tail maker that's got a couple different skills under their belt that they can apply to different circumstances. Definitely like a small business does things in small batches, a one-woman show, so keep that in mind when you do order something from a tail maker like Aquariuz. It means that there will be a few differences as compared to if you order something from a larger tail maker like FinFun or Mertailor and stuff like that, but you do get a very individualized experience. Again, my measurements were absolutely perfect, the tail fit me beautifully, and the shipping to me was super duper fast. I was honestly blown away at the turnaround time for this tail. I was like, yeah, sure, rainbow tail, then, oh, it's done. Oh, it's at my house. Oh, okay. And for the performance, I'm gonna give this tail a 7 out of 10, closer to an 8 than a 6. I will say this tail is a little bit tricky to swim in, mostly due to the big fluke, but of course it's just like one of those things. Once I get in the rhythm, I figure it out. What I really appreciate about this tail is it's got a string on the inside that I can tie and secure at the base of the monofin. My favorite monofins for this were the Mahina, the Linden, and the Shooter. I didn't really find one was any better than the other. It was just kind of what I felt that day. I did try the Lucia though, and that was awful, so I don't know. Now I know that this tail was advertised as to be beginner friendly, and I wouldn't say that's entirely the case. I would say it's a very accessible tail because it is very inexpensive compared to other tails of this caliber. It is really easy to put together. Like, all you need is a monofin, as long as it's a good monofin. Like, don't be putting a FinFun inside of here, but like the Linden is a pretty inexpensive monofin and it can go in this tail, and it's really easy to put together. There's not a lot of fins or stuff you need to finagle with. And it's also great if you're someone that doesn't swim in a tail but wants a customized tail or a tail made to your aesthetic. This would be great if you're just getting into mermaiding for, like, say, land purposes or modeling and stuff. I wouldn't say this is a beginner-friendly tail. Sometimes when I have a tail that I'm like, how good is a beginner? I just throw my sister in it. She's a competent swimmer. She's mermaided before, but, like, she does it, like, once or twice a year. And she swam in this and was like, oh my gosh, no. This is, like, she was able to do it, but she didn't really have a good time. So I would say this would be better as kind of like a second or a third mermaid tail, but it would be a great one for, say, your first custom tail. And this was a really great tail to use on land because it was super easy to walk around in. It's really easy to get the monofin in and out. You don't need to be fiddling with it for 45 minutes. And if you need to change locations, all you gotta do is take out the monofin, hike it up, and just kind of waddle your way over. Or you could even take photos sans monofin. Because this fluke is so huge, you can just drape it nicely anywhere and it looks really, really, really pretty. And I love taking photos in this tail on the beach. I thought it was awesome. Again, for the swimming, this tail is not fast. I'm very slow in it. I'm very slow, but at least it does have an open bottom fluke, so there's easy access to the model fin and it provides good drainage. So I prefer this over a big fluke that has terrible drainage. I'm looking at you, Mermaid. So my recommended users for this sort of tail would be land performers. I think this would be an awesome tail to have if you have a party princess business and you need a good tail to walk around in that's still gonna hide your feet, but you also want to swim in it eventually. This would be a perfect tail for that, kind of a good dual purpose tail. And when I did my first swim video, I asked you guys to name this tail and I chose the name Rainbow Splash because Rainbow Dash is my favorite My Little Pony and I like rainbows and it makes a big splash. So my total score for this tail is 43 out of 50. That's an 86%. That's an A. I'd say that's an accurate grade for this tail. I love having another rainbow tail in my roster. It makes my heart sing. I definitely recommend that you check out Aquariuz's work. They got a lot of different stuff, a lot of unique ideas, and it's always really interesting seeing new things that they come out. So thank you for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for waiting so long for me to put out this review, or any review to be fair. If you want to see more videos like this, subscribe and send me a like and comment below what else you want me to review next or any questions I didn't answer and I'll do my best. Thank you once again for watching and I'll see you later. Bye! Oh no, problem with new filming location. Ciao! I was swimming circles around her.